Hey everybody, Rob DeLessio, Taste of Retirement. Today what we're doing is an all-time classic, macaroni and cheese. You've loved it since you were a kid. Of course, though, we have to change it and kick it up a notch. Come on, let me show you how we do it. Okay, macaroni and cheese. Who doesn't love macaroni and cheese? I mean, you started eating it when you were a kid, but now we've got to kick things up a notch, right? That's what we always do here. So we've got the bechamel going, one of the mother sauces. We did a whole show based on all 5 of the mother sauces. So click right here, you'll see that show. You can see exactly how we made the bechamel. Ours is a little bit darker than normal because, again, we kick things up. We decided to brown off some bacon. And we use some of that bacon fat in the bechamel instead of just butter. And then we've also got about a cup and a half of an aged sharp cheddar that's from Vermont, best cheddar you can get in the country. And then we have a 20-month-old aged Parmesan. Listen very carefully. When you're buying Parmesan cheese, spend the money. It's worth it. Just like good wine, just like good balsamic vinegar, you need to spend the money. It'll set things off. We got some shell pasta. We've got some truffle hot sauce that we're going to use, and then some panko breadcrumbs. So we've got a pot of water. I put salt in my water, and then we've got the bechamel heated up. So what we're just going to do, we're going to put the cheese in batches. And the one thing I will tell you is the cheddar will melt nicely. The parm doesn't melt as well. It gets a little stringy so you want to shred it or grate it. Oh, and another thing. I grate all of my own cheese. I don't like to buy the grated cheese. They actually add a powder to it so it doesn't stick together. That's no good. You can do it yourself. It's all right. You only cut yourself a couple times. But anyway, so you've added the cheese. Let that slowly start to incorporate into that, making that sauce. The pot of water is boiling, so we're gonna go ahead and add the pasta. And one thing I always do, every time I add pasta to boiling water, as soon as I put it in, I go ahead and give it a stir. Otherwise it'll stick together. That's no good. All right, and that's gonna boil for, pasta's what, 10 minutes? You want it to have a little bit, you want it to be a little al dente. I've got the oven preheated to 350 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and get the rest of that off of there. I wanna make sure we get all the cheese because it's fantastic. All right, then we're just gonna let that keep going until it's all completely melted, and then the pasta's ready. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it in a pan, and then we're gonna bake it off it's already cooked, so we're just gonna bake it off until the panko bread gets nice and golden on the top, and then it's a delicious time. So we did a cheddar and a parm. I love the parm because it kind of has that nutty, salty taste to it. Cheddar is just my favorite. I think you should always do a cheddar cheese when you're doing macaroni and cheese. But you could do like an aged Gruyere, you can do a Gouda. The options are endless, and so it's just so much fun. So I'm gonna put a little bit of salt, and then we're just gonna let it just, keep going. It's just about there now. Remember, we don't wanna put too much salt though, because we do have the bacon, which is gonna add saltiness to the dish anyway. Okay, so the sauce, it's ready. The pasta is ready too, so we're just gonna turn the heat off. And like I said, I want my pasta al dente, which means to the bite or to the tooth. Just have a little bit of chew to it. Even maybe a little more al dente than I would normally do because it's gonna go in the oven for like 20 or 30 minutes. So we just take the pasta off, we're gonna drain it in the colander, and then we're gonna assemble. Now, when I drain it, I like to actually leave a little bit of that pasta water in there. It just helps the sauce to incorporate a little bit more. But long story short, now we're just assembling. So we've got a pan, that's a half pan. We got the pasta in there. We're gonna take the sauce, we're gonna dump the bacon. Like I said, like anytime you cook bacon, this actually was a little more full in this, and it's about half empty because people eat it all day long. So keep it away from the kids, but that's all right. There's bacon flavor throughout the bechamel as well. All right, now we pour in the loveliness. And so you want to just kind of, I know it looks a little soupy, but I promise it'll dry up as you bake it. And if you want it more dry, you can do that. If you want it, more wet, you can do that as well. But just mix it up. The smell is unbelievable. Do a couple drops of the hot sauce. A little goes a long way. You can smell those truffles. Unbelievable. So we've got that all nicely mixed. We're gonna take the panko and just go nice layer. This just adds a nice little bite to it, a little crunch on the top. Makes it really happy, you know, and who doesn't like happy? Everybody wants their food to be happy. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this in the oven and we're gonna bake it, like I said, we're gonna look at it at about 20 minutes. You really just want the top to be golden brown. Everything's cooked now, so you can eat it. But I like to just kind of cook it and get it and make it almost kind of like a casserole. So oven's on at 350, we'll put it in there and then we'll go from there. Okay, so it's been 25 minutes. Let's go check on the mac and cheese because you can just smell the aroma. I can't wait to see it. Yes, sir. Absolutely golden brown and bubbling, it's oozing. Go ahead and let that sit for a couple minutes. It's still bubbling a little bit. I am so excited, but we let it sit for a little bit, just let things settle down. And then all we're gonna do is we're just gonna spoon it onto a plate. So you go in around that corner, get some of those crunchy bites. You can smell that truffle hot sauce. You can smell the bacon, the aged cheddar, the aged parmesan. It's just unbelievable. And there you have it. Baked macaroni and cheese, where it all started with a bechamel sauce. You can check out our videos. We've got all the mother sauces there. And then we added aged sharp cheddar, aged parmesan, really thick cut bacon, beautiful pasta shells, panko breadcrumbs, truffle hot sauce. It's fantastic. If you like what you see here, go to our YouTube page, like and subscribe. You'll see amazing content just like this one. I'm Rob D'Alessio, and this was The Taste of Retired.